So we're here with Vic Maraj here at National Convention 2014 here in Toronto, co-creator of Unstoppable Conversations, certainly a leader in transformational design, and I know you've been doing this for many years as well.
Yes.
Just wanted to, again, thank you very much. It was very insightful what you shared with all of us today, and just wondering if you can share, I guess, with all the people that aren't able to be here with us this week, why change is so important, and you talked about it a lot today at a personal level, but also at an organizational level, and why is that so important for organizations to continually be looking at change?
Well, that's the only thing that's guaranteed is change is going to happen. So if you don't deal with it, it will happen to you anyway, right? So you don't.
And if we look at an organization like Kin Canada, for example, so we're a volunteer organization, 95 years in the making, raised over $1 billion for communities. Why do we still need to be looking at change? Like, why can't we look at our product and say, you know what, we're good? And
yeah.
We've seen it in the last number of years. I mean, a lot of volunteer organizations, membership numbers are declining.
Yeah.
So how does that play a role in looking to the future and trying to succeed?
Yeah, well, look, you have a great product. It's not disavowing that what you did is $1 billion is amazing.
Right.
It's just that what got you that $1 billion ain't going to get you the next billion. In fact, what got you that $1 billion is probably the way the world is changing, as fast as the world is changing,
right,
is going to guarantee you lose that $1 billion.
Yeah.
So it's paradoxical. Unless you kind of let go of what got you here, you won't see what will get you the next $1 billion.
You mentioned Let It Go, and then I know you have a 6-year-old, so I immediately thought about the movie Frozen. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the song just started going through my head.
Yeah.
But for organizations, maybe tell us just, if you can, like a minute or so about that letting it go. What do organizations need to be letting go, and what's that fear that you've seen from organizations that can really cripple their ability to move forward?
Yeah. Well, it's a human thing, right? So organizations, need to let go of, when I say what got them here, I mean the kind of thinking that got them here, not the people, not the stapler. There's a way that people think, and it got them here, right? And IBM, for example, International Business Machines. What got them successful is dealing with hardware solutions for people, but they woke up. The IBM doesn't produce a computer anymore,
right?
So what they turned is to business solutions. But see, they changed, as Jack Welch said, before they had to. So that's an example of a change, but there's a change in mindset that then had them see being service-driven was the future rather than hardware-driven. In Canada, you got a generation of people who are, if you look, every volunteer organization has a certain demographic.
Right.
And it's generally older. Really, that's the truth. It's generally older.
Absolutely.
And then, people bemoan why the youth aren't getting involved. Well, because the context or the thinking that is in place doesn't appeal to them. And then, they like Twitter. It's more than Twitter. It's not even, they think different.
Yeah.
And so unless we think different, there won't be any place at the table for them, which will guarantee your dissolution in 20 years.
And it's so key, to say change now before you have to. Because if you wait until it's too late, we've seen so many stories and examples where that's happened. And people have just waited until time's run out. And speaking of time, I know you've got a busy agenda again today. He's got a 6-year-old upstairs jumping on the bed.
That's right. Probably. That's right. That's his big keynote is to the mirror as he jumps up and down his bed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've got a 6-year-old home as well.
Awesome.
So I can, same deal, full of energy. And just before you go, you were very passionate today when you're up here sharing that message with everybody. And I know that if you're like me, when you're sharing these messages, it's not just because you want to go out and speak to organizations, but probably in here somewhere you realize the difference that can make. So when you look to the future and your own kids and so forth, why is it so important for us to be focused on that to make sure we have that positive future down the road for those that follow behind it?
Yeah, right. Well, it's funny. Parents, how most parents grow up is, well, I want my kid to be like me, mini me, or I want my kid to not be me. I want my kid to be better than me.
Right.
Either way, your kid's future is about you. So why it's important to deal with your context because if you don't deal with that, your kid doesn't get to live their life. They live your life by being a reaction to your life, not being you being better than you. or being you. Either way, you got your kid, and it's just robbery. You robbed a kid's future of discovering who they really are if you make it about you. So why I do this, why I continue to work on me is I'm not committed that my child is some better version of me. I'm committed that my child discovers who they really are and expresses that in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. Check out all of his details. We'll make sure to include it on the site below. Vic, again, great spending time with us today at National Convention, and thank you so much for sharing that message. I really think it's going to help us move forward.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Very welcome.
Yeah, good day.